All right, welcome back, everybody. Again, this is our briefing for Monday, July 1st, 2024. We're going to go ahead and move on to Sheriff's Office with Chief Kevin Hanson. Welcome, Chief.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. Let me start my video here. There. Okay, it looks like we have two things on the agenda this morning. First is a briefing item for what we call the medical wristbands. This is a device that was recommended to us by the risk pool, and initially funded by the risk pool. And what it amounts to is it amounts to like an iPhone watch that we apply to the inmate's wrists, and we anticipate using these for people who may be going through withdrawals or have some kind of medical condition upon intake for short term. And it sends the vital statistics to like a internet-based web page that we can monitor via the nurse's station or in the control room. And if we can set alerts and things, and if the person's oxygen levels drop or their heart rate drops or something, it would alert us to go provide attention to them. So we think it's a good program. We've asked for 4 of these units, and you'll see from the briefing that it looks like the additional investment is like $15,813, which would be borne by the risk pool. And there's an annual subscription fee of $8,250. And those fees may be covered by the risk pool's risk reduction program if the funds are available. So there's no guarantee that we may not, we may have to bear the burden of those in the future. We're just not sure if the risk pool will have that funding or not. So anyhow, we've got, we want to order 4 of those sensors.
So, commissioners, on the risk pool, this came up, and I'm a big fan of it, the idea of it. And Nicole, is she on here? I don't see her. So the only question I have with that is we may be doing it for the future. I know that they'll cover it for now, but the idea that it also helps to protect our corrections officers as they know as they're going into a situation where somebody's losing their stuff too. And aside from protecting life of the prisoner, it may be a good protector of life for our corrections. So I'm very much supportive. Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. What better way to you always want to monitor their vitals, so I think that's great. And I see that the investment for the future also as a good idea, even if it's not covered by risk pool. I think it's a good idea for us to continue that.
Commissioner Schutte?
Yeah, I agree as well. I'd like to move forward with this. Chief, just will your medical staff also have access to this data, or is this something that that they would monitor while they're on shift, and then while they're off, it would be on your corrections officers? Okay.
Yes. So that medical's staff from 16 hours a day. So when the nurses are here, they will be monitoring it, and then the off hours will be monitored by the controller of our corrections deputies.
Excellent. Yeah. I definitely support it.
All right, you got 3, Chief. What you got?
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next thing I have is the food service contract, which expires this year. It actually expired in February. And it looks like Summit Food Services has asked for a 5.2% increase to the contract. I'm not sure what the hit to the budget is going to be because of the fluctuating inmate population. Obviously, if we don't have as many inmates to feed, then the annual expense isn't as much. And you'll see from the addendum that's attached to the briefing that the price per meal is based upon the inmate population. So obviously, the more inmates that you have in here, the less price per meal it is. And the less inmates you have, the more it is per meal. So, and this is a 1-year contract.
So now I understand, because you just said that, because this is a strange scale, but the way that scale is set up is a yearly per inmate?
Yeah, so this would be per meal. So current price per meal. So if you look at the chart there listed on page 1,
Yeah.
for instance, if we have 30 to 39 inmates in jail, the current price per meal is $6 per meal. With the 5.2% increase, it goes up 31 cents per meal to $6.38 per meal. That's per inmate. So and you got 3 meals a day.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
not that is a period, not a uh uh can't think of the term all of a sudden. So that's $6, not six.
Not a comma.
Yeah, not a comma. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
okay.
no,
That
it's
makes a
per
big
meal.
difference there. I
Yeah.
understand that. Okay.
I did the rough math. It looks like if our population is around 30 for the rest of the year, it looks like $215,000 is what our annual food expense would be. But I think those inmates are going to be coming back this summer, so we'll be back up to having 70 inmates over here before long, and
Yeah.
once the price per meal drops.
Explain to me the staff meals. I'm seeing $350.
Yeah, that's per week. So that we can't our staff can't leave. They have paid lunch
No,
periods.
I understand. I was just curious
Yeah.
what it was.
That's per
Look-
week.
Looking at it with a period that makes a difference. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Commissioners, Commissioner Shooty, do you have any opinions?
No, I think the clarification was helpful, but got to feed people.
Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm glad it wasn't a comma.
And how long have we been doing this? I know it wasn't a comma too. How long have we had this contract with these folks?
Since 2017.
That's what I thought. At what point will you go out and at least entertain others to see what it looks like?
Well, we could do that anytime. I mean, it's we've been pretty happy with their service, so we haven't really seen a need to go out to bid.
Well, I remember having that same question about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we did this last contract. I still think that we should be at least looking at what it looks like elsewhere.
Right.
We used to do it internally, and with that cost, makes a difference. But we had some fears that other people might hurt other people, and I remember all that. But we had a full commissary in there, or a full system. So I don't know. I'd like to see different options in the future, but I have no problem signing on to this one, Chief.
Okay. Sounds good.
What else you got for us?
That's it for today.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for the chief?
Not me.
All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, commissioners.
Next up, Dave Windom. Are you available? Public Health.
Actually, I'm married.
You're married?
Yeah, so I'm not available. It's Monday. Come on.
Okay. I know, but you're expecting us to figure these jokes out on a Monday too. Don't forget that.
Okay, so we got 3 things today. And then I got one kind of informal thing. So my first thing is our public health infrastructure grant. We had a discussion with DOH over the last couple of weeks about what infrastructure really means. Their view is infrastructure is people. And our view was infrastructure are the things that support people. So we negotiated in this grant to DOH is going to pay for the upgrades we need to building 13 as we get ready to move in there. And then we're asking for in this grant a administrative extra help. So we just want to run that by the commission, and I'll get with Mary and we can get that process started. With the 2 locations, we're kind of splitting our front desk. And with people rotating out for maternity leave, extra help will be able to give us the ability to move back and forth and support both those front desks.
So, Dave, I want to remind you on that. We just had to come up where budget was talking to us about a few things that are losing their funding, and we're finding funding elsewhere. But if we do anything like this, I always want to make sure that we asterisk it and make sure that it's connected to the grant.
And it is in this case. So it's extra help connected to the FIG grant.
Okay, and if that thing disappears, the position disappears.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why it's extra help, and we weren't looking for something permanent at this point.
Commissioner Trask, where are you at on this one?
Yeah, as long as it's connected to the grant, would this person be full-time or part-time?
Maybe full-time. Full-time connected to the grant, so it's extra help.
Okay, I think I would want to see it go before human resources first.
Yep.
And then bring, that way the job description we can take a peek at it as well.
Right. I just want to make sure that before I brought it to the board, that I had DOH sign off on the ability to pay for it.
No, I get you. So you're making
Okay,
sure
got
we're
it.
okay with it before you ask for the money.
Yeah.
Okay, but before you would do any hiring or anything else, we would bring it before the commission for a full understanding of the position and HR's approval of the position structure.
Yep. Yep. I'm
Okay.
just kind of checking the pre-application for that. Yeah.
Nope, I appreciate that. Commissioner Shooty,
I am supportive as well.
there you go. You got 3.
Okay. Before Melissa starts, I did want to let the commission know that we received notice that our intent to apply for the jail reentry program was approved. So we have as much as 2.25 million coming in over the next couple of years. Did talk with Chief Hanson. We're going to look at maybe moving from cohort 1 to cohort 2 to give us a little more time to react. But the money is there. We are approved, and I will bring that to the commission as well.
Yeah, let's sit down and talk about that. Look at options.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what flexibilities there are there.
Okay.
You don't need anything from us though, right? That was just
No,
information.
I'll put in a briefing. I just want to give you a heads up that it's there. And I
Okay.
told the funder that it will take us time to get this through the legislative process, and they were cool.
Cool. Commissioners have any questions on that one? Okay. All right, Melissa.
Good morning, commissioners. I
morning.
have 2 items this morning. The first is treatment sales tax contracts amendments with Olympic Health and Recovery Services. So again, I briefed the commission on this. We started this conversation back at the end of January, and I brought additional amendments to the board back in June. Again, we're trying to extend these contracts and sustain them through the end of the year so that we can start new RFPs in the beginning of the year. So the contract cycles go from January to December. So the 2 remaining contracts that we have for renewal are for the law enforcement co-responder program, as well as for the jail peer support program. So this is also reentry and medications for overuse, overdose disorder. For the law enforcement co-responder program to sustain from July to December, they will need a total of $65,100 from the TST reserve, and no additional funding will be needed for the jail peer support program. So just looking for approval to extend these through the end of the year.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on that one?
Sounds
Commissioner
good.
Shooty.
Yeah, so just I appreciate these coming forward. I am supportive of them, and had an opportunity to have a conversation recently with Olympic Health and Recovery Services, and their data shows that just about a year on with this program, our sheriff's deputies have seen about a 90% reduction in calls that they're responding to directly for folks that are in crisis. And so highly successful in year 1, and I hope that we can continue to build on that into the future. It's critical that we make sure that the right people respond to the right calls, and we use our law enforcement officers appropriately. And so they're there to support the co-responders if necessary, but to be able to divert 90% or so of our mental health.
Oh, I did hear that right. That's what that was the real number, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, to be able to divert that amount of calls, through the co-responder program is pretty impressive, and I think a cost savings and a health and welfare benefit to our community as well. So definitely supportive of moving this one forward.
Commissioner Trask.
Well, and that makes me support it even more. So that's great news. Thanks,
Yeah,
Commissioner Shooty, for sharing.
I was going to ask you to repeat that number, Commissioner, because it didn't seem real. But if you say it twice, I believe you. So yeah.
I think too, Melissa and Dave, it might be beneficial for us to bring OHRS in to do an update when we hit that 1 year anniversary so that they join us for a briefing. And if commissioners Edelman and Trask have additional questions about the program, they can have a good forum for it. I think that would be great.
Absolutely. I can coordinate that.
Okay. What else you got for us?
Thank you. Second item is also Olympic Health and Recovery Services, the lead expansion amendment. So on the June 10th briefing, the board approved for us to sign the contract with the Healthcare Authority, accepting $515,000 additional dollars to expand lead. This is the contract amendment specifically with the service provider OHRS. $814,000 to that contract. I did attach a staffing and budget plan to the contract amendment just to explain a little bit more. The board had some questions last time this was briefed on exactly what is going to be done with those dollars. If I could summarize it here, it would mostly be to increase staffing capacity. This will also give the lead workers an opportunity to work and expand more just from the sheriff's office as well as Shelton PD, but also into our tribal law enforcement departments as well.
Now, Melissa, I understand from being on a different committee where I'm trying to find the right way to say this, but that the lead program is not being utilized very much on this other side of the house over here. What are we doing with all this money if that's not happening? We're just going around them, or?
No, I think actually our previous conversation about the co-responder program, programs like that, I think have really seen probably a decrease in people who are arrestable, if you will. So I know that there has also been a pretty large turnover in staffing for lead as well, especially while I was out on leave. So I think not having enough staff have the ability to actually go out and meet people in the field has been something that has prevented the program from being utilized as is. I think changes in legislation as well. So a lot of offenses no longer being arrestable has been a little bit of a barrier. I think this is really more of intensive case management, having the staff available to really connect people to resources is what the program has really become.
We're spending a lot on this lead program. I'd like to eventually have some type of a breakdown of what it is and what we're doing now compared to what we were supposed to do originally when we were doing this.
Sure.
So I'd appreciate that in the future. Don't have to have it today.
I can do that.
Thank
I have some data that we can update. It hasn't been updated in the last few months, so I can update that and bring that to a future briefing.
And I'm not going to stand in the way, but I have questions and see what we're doing if it's still functioning the way we're supposed to. Maybe there's other options there. If not, Commissioner Trask, any questions or comments on this one?
No questions. Comment. I love to see that we're reaching out and helping where we can. So appreciate everything that you guys are doing over there. I know that you guys are busy and you're doing quite a bit. So just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Schutte.
Yeah, I'm supportive of moving forward with this as well. And I think, even, as we think about having the briefing with the co-responder program, this would be another maybe opportunity to put those two together since Olympic Health and Recovery is involved in both. And we can have a conversation with, with them about the program and from a operational perspective, but also, one of the issues that comes up with this is, you have the policy group that sets the offenses that are eligible to be diverted by law enforcement, and then you have the community referral component. And so I think it's true to say that this program has evolved over the years since we've
Okay, is people coming back here?
There, I'm back.
Yeah, our whole commission thing here was kicked off. Sharon's back, and there comes Kevin. So, Kevin, there was some incredible things that just occurred while we were offline. Would you like to comment on any of it?
Job well done, everybody.
So, all of us are on board with moving forward with this, correct?
I am, yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. You got anything else for us?
I do not. That was my last item. Thank you.
All right, Dave, you got anything else for us?
That's it for me.
Does anybody have anything for Dave? All right, Dave, please.
Wait. I do. I couldn't click my mute button quick
All
enough.
right, get it.
Yeah. So Dave, I know that we've got the opioid monies coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an approval process for how that money gets?
No, I was going to start working with Mark. He and I have been talking about this, Mark, and then come back to the commission with the ability to put out RFPs and have an official approval process for those. Now we have a really good idea of what we have in the bank.
Okay. All right, and then you'll share that information with the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, if you're going to go out for those, though, please find a way to communicate all the different things that we may be able to do in order to get that money. There's a lot of different groups. I'd like to see us do more than the same thing over and over again. If we
Yeah.
can start to get out to different groups and different.
Well, and the RFP has some guidelines that I think will just, I mean, not the RFP. There's a guideline for the whole fund, the whole funding mechanism, and with the scope of what's allowed and what's not allowable. So we'll put that into the RFPs as we put them out, and give the community some broad access to that.
I would like that because I'd like to see us start to do more with more people, so we don't run into some of the same problems we always do by funneling it down and then not being happy with how it's going and not have enough diversity to.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of community groups out there that have ideas that just have not thought, hey, we can step up and ask for some of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of our goal is to reach out and to let the community do some of this work for us.
If you could, when you're done, if you can give us a simple roll up for the commissioners to have in their hand,
Okay.
that'd be a one pager that we could work with, that'd be appreciated.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. I'll see if I can condense that down. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Well, the rest of it, you'll have to figure out if they apply, but to give ideas and stuff and to work within them.
Yeah, can do.
All right. Anything else for Dave?
Well, and I think a perfect source would be that the provider with a purpose. There was a ton of different providers that were at that meeting that I didn't realize that we had. I mean, connections to other areas. So I think maybe if you can reach out to Susan, she probably has a good contact list.
Yeah, and we have people that go to that, and I also have been talking with the hospital from the hospital's point of view, from the ER point of view, what could be done for those people who are coming into the ER with opioid crisis. So there's a number of things we could reach out and start working on.
Okay, sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you. You have anything, Kevin? No.
I do not.
All right. Have a great day, Dave. Thank you.
Right, thanks.
All right. Next up, we have Loretta, and we have let's see, we have Public Works and Utilities, Waste Management. And
yeah, it's a Richard show this morning.
Well, come on board.
I got a number of things for you, 4 to be exact. First one up, tipping floor replacement. We got 5 bids, or actually we contacted 5 contractors. We had 4 respond. One of them responded with, no thanks, I'm way too busy. The other 3 arranged a stair step, about 59,000, 48,000, and the low bid was 38,200. This floor takes the most abuse, serves all of our commercial contractors and a few of and a good amount of the public. We've patched it a few times over the years, and it's just it's time to replace it. We budgeted for it, and we're well under that budget.
So, Richard, I know that we try to always take the lowest bid, but you don't have to give a name. Is there one in particular that you've worked with before and find to be, because they're so close together with cost wise? Do you have one that you would really like to see do it because they'll get it done under budget and in time?
I'm not a road guy, asphalt guy particularly. If you concrete pumps, stuff like that, I got opinions.
Okay.
And Oh, sorry, Commissioner.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, thanks to our engineering team. I know Mike and Dave and folks put together the specs on this and quantities. And so all of the folks that were proposing on this project had the same information, same bidding.
Okay. All right, so that's just informational. Then we'll wait for it to be brought before us, or you got one you're sending us.
Well, yeah, we'd like to recommend that this get put on the next commission meeting for approval.
Okay, which one? Do we have the contract?
Looks like it's the Bear Creek Asphalt Paving LLC.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm supportive.
Sounds good.
Me as well.
All right, next.
Next up, another solid waste item. We've budgeted for this and came in perfectly on our budget. It's purchase of a new skid steer and implements to facilitate just managing the property and the workload and keeping things mowed down so yeah, we normally, like for the mowing and stuff, we try to borrow the road departments as much as possible, but we all want to mow in spring and we all can't mow when it's dry out because of fire hazards and stuff. So this would help us out greatly, and we could also use it out at the wastewater department too, keeping our impoundment structure mowed down as well.
Okay. Will you be splitting it amongst them, or just keeping it under regular solid waste, or what are you doing there?
I'd like to keep it under solid waste and just
Contract it back for utilities? Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioners, any comments, questions?
Me, that's good.
Not for me. It looks like fun to drive.
I was thinking the same thing. Okay.
Let us know when you want to be put to work.
Your go.
yeah, talk with Kevin, he'll get you set up.
So what else you got for us?
Okay, well, it's time for the utility side of things. This is a Commerce Grant Award for regional water and sewer upgrades. Governor Inslee signed the 2023-2025 state capital budget, which included appropriation of $250,000 for these regional water and sewer upgrades. Let's see, Department of Commerce retains 3%, net grant awards $242,500. And the scope of the work for this grant includes $192,500 to the North Bay facility plan and $50,000 to the Beards Cove water system improvement site, replacing valves and AC pipe. So the budget effect on this is we had budgeted $300,000 for the facility plan. We got a bid, a contract with Kennedy Jenks for $320,000. So $192,500 will go to that, and $127,500 will be financed out of the rates.
How did we do that one? Did we do that one through ARPA?
No, this was out of utility rates, Commissioner.
Okay, straight out of utilities. We didn't do any ARPA. I thought we did for the North Bay.
So that offsets.
Okay, we didn't for North Bay. You're positive.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. What else you got?
Another grant. And this is directly for Beards Cove, and specifically we called out for water valve and pipeline in the intersection of Larson Lake and Larson Boulevard. I think that's the name of the road. It's where the road is failing. It's caused a number of problems. And it's just that these failures, they're causing the road department issues as well. So we'd like to get that all fixed and use that money to fix as much of this AC pipe and valves as possible, but specifically within that intersection.
Let me ask you a question. We've had so many different issues with the pipes and stuff there. Is this a time for us to have, if we're going to have somebody out there, economy of scale, is this the time to talk about maybe dropping some other monies into a bigger replacement?
Yeah, so that's what this grant actually, commissioners, will help us do. We had only planned for around a $100,000 project with the ARPA funds. And we're able to expand that to about a $250,000 project. Richard's done a great deal of legwork with some various contractors out there to look at elevating valves, replacing valves, basically getting a bigger system together. And then what we need to do is apply for a grant for the larger system replacement. And that's more on the order of $1 to $2.5 million.
Yeah, that's why I was asking though, if you're gonna be right there though, and pull that stuff up, could we replace those pipes that are right there? If those are blowing all the time,
Yes.
like everything else, can we expand this project? If we were to dump an extra 100,000, 200,000 out of our monies, could we exponentially have a greater impact? Or should we just wait and be patient and go for a larger grant?
Good question. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat because there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
It's roughly what I'm seeing is anywhere from $150 to $200 per lineal foot of just to replace the water line, not counting that it's going to have services all along it that connect to everybody's household. So even $100,000 doesn't buy you a lot of miles.
Yeah.
So,
Well, now that area that you're talking about doing, that's the oldest area, right? When they first established that housing development, they did the lower section first and then moved it up to the upper sections.
yeah, this is like right in the middle. So that's because, well, part of this is why we picked this is that intersection, the road department can vouch. I mean, they get a ton of complaints. It's really obvious that this has been causing a lot of problems. And I mean, that needs to be addressed, not just for our issues, but it's the main intersection up there too. A lot of traffic, so.
Yeah. And
So right-
the other thing to consider is working with Mike and his team. It's due for some pavement preservation out there, time to chip seal. So we really want and need to get hustling on our water line work as well. So we're not holding up the paving preservation work.
So I just want to verify what I'm hearing, Richard, is you're saying this is not a time, you do not see a major economy of scale benefit from investing a little bit more money at this point.
I'll know more later because very shortly, actually, because part of this money and use it is to find it, is to like do a survey of the condition of the valves and every one of them. We've got 79 of them on our as-bills. We can't find 79 of them ourselves out there, and we don't have the equipment to do it in a timely manner. So part of this money will give us a condition assessment on every valve that's out there.
Okay.
And then we can have a better plan of how we're going to attack this. But like for this project right here, we're going to coordinate with the road department, as Loretta said, that part of this is it's a road condition issue in that intersection. But with them, if we coordinate it well enough, we won't have to do as much restoration. So we should be able to get more valves and miles of pipe out of the money that we're going to use.
Okay, just know that I'm only speaking for myself, but I am open to looking at other dollars for that. One of the reasons why is we sent so much staff out there, fix it, then fix it, then fix it. And then when they fix it, it blows somewhere else because they fixed it. At some point, the cost is, we're paying it anyway without the benefit of fixing it. So if you see the opportunity, I'd be willing to hear it. I'm not speaking for the other commissioners, but okay, so
I agree.
So would that be a REAP pot of funds, Commissioner?
it could be, yeah. We had decided, is there going to be anything else left in ARPA? I don't know, but I only want to look at it if we'll actually get an economy of scale benefit. If not, then we wait and we do the whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Schutte, opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the work is ultimately going to be unavoidable at some point, and so having some options in front of us is a good thing. If not, for now, even just kind of looking ahead to future legislative asks and other fund sources that might come up, just I think having that knowledge will help us be in a position to go after that funding. or potentially figure out how we can do more with the funds that we have available to us currently in our own budget.
Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, I think it's so important that we stay ahead of our, I like what you're doing. Bottom line, I like what you're doing. On the Public Works Board, that's what we look for. We look for people that are being proactive and not reactive. And so when determining a loan amount or whether they're grant, anyway, all of that is taken into consideration. So I love that we're looking ahead to be preventive and not, I guess, not reactive. So it's awesome. And then you're looking for both of these to, for us, our humble nods or whatever to put it on the agenda.
Correct.
Okay, then, yeah. Commissioner Sheedy, are you nodding?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And commissioners, this is a result of, thank you for your meeting with our delegation last year. So this pays off, the bundling of the utility requests, and this is the result. And Richard, if you could maybe give a quickie update. We did a pump station 1 work last week in the middle of Old Belfair Highway.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay. Nomenclature. We refer to it as G1. There's
Right.
lift station 1, pump station 1. This one's G1. And it's the pump station located on Old Belfair Highway. It has had one functional pump for God knows how long as I can remember. And we finally we purchased the pump. We've had it in the shop. We were waiting for time and weather when we could get out there and do it. So crew went out last week. The crew coordinated the whole thing by themselves. They just ran it by me and with their game plan, it worked out well. They coordinated with an electrician, with the ER&R staff, and with the road crew to be able to lift the pump out, lift the old pump out, drop the new pump in, and we had to pull power from literally the middle of Old Belfair Highway. It's an 80-foot cord through the ground and up to the power source. And they did a great job. They were efficient. It only took a couple of hours to do all the work and to get out of the road. So G1 is back up with 2 full pumps, full redundancy, and very proud of my staff and the way they worked.
Give them a pat on the back from us as well.
You bet.
That's a busy place. All right.
It
Anybody
is.
have anything else for them?
Yeah, Richard, it's just, I mean, is this just overuse, or, I mean, in that area, is it because of the amount of flow that's coming through there related to some of the adjacent properties, or is this, normal wear and
I
tear?
really don't know. That's now that we got the pump out, we can evaluate kind of what happened to it. It doesn't get, there's like 8 customers.
Yeah, it doesn't get a lot of use.
It doesn't run a lot. So we'll figure out what happened to it. If it's rebuildable, we'll rebuild it and have it on the shelf.
Is it leakage? Because that area there is so swampy, debris or swamp mud could be getting into it quickly.
Yeah. So we'll check it out and see what we got. Like I said,
Okay.
hopefully we can salvage it and just put a new impeller on it and call it good and have a backup for it.
Good. Commissioner Trask, anything? Okay.
Commissioner,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Laura.
Just a quick heads up. We have our hearing for the RID scheduled for tomorrow, and we will be requesting a continuance for 2 weeks. The notice to the landowners was not out 2 weeks ahead. So apologies for that, but certainly and we'll let the community know as well, but
Yeah, please do, because they'll come in with expectations. And
absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry about that little snafu, but it's snafu'd.
Hey,
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so we'll open the hearing and then continue it, but will you or Mike be briefing that in person?
Yes.
And then you can kind of lead with that from the top.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
We
good.
will do that. Yeah.
Commissioner Trask, any comment on that? Okay. Hey, Richard, if you're still on, can you, there you are. Hey, I met with some folks and they tell me that we're still having water quality problems in Russellwood. Where are we sitting on that? How did it go with the cleaning? Are we establishing the pressure? I'd like to have that community forum here soon.
Yep.
Go down there and talk with them, but I'd like to make sure we've got our ducks in a row and have done a good quality job before we do, and then find out the pieces we're missing instead of a complete failure.
Yeah, no, the only problem with pressure we're having now is high pressure down low. And found another PRV that's located on that back part of Krabenhof that goes down to the water.
Yeah.
That's got to be investigated today. The water quality, I've been talking with at least two customers. I can't think of the dude, but Hunter is his first name. It's one of them that contacts me regularly. I said, if there's any issue with your water quality, please let me know. And so I'll reach out to him like every other week and say, how's your water quality? So far, so good.
Instead, let's do it in a different way. Say we'll let them know that we're coming back out there.
Yep.
Check on it, and we want the full input. Not that we fixed it, that instead that we're there to find what pieces still need to be worked on, and we'd like for them to all show up and give us their input on how the quality is going, if it's changing, what areas we need to work on, and on the pressure. Because quite often, because people come to me and get mad, doesn't mean they actually know what they're talking about. They're still thinking about what they've dealt with in the past.
Yep.
And I found that out in life. It doesn't mean that they're incorrect this time, but we'll find out, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Loretta, you have anything else for us? Thank you, Richard.
I think that's it, commissioners, unless you want to hear about Port of Great View and traffic.
I would. Could you give us an update on that one?
Happy to, commissioners. So we did receive a request some time ago from the Port of Great View. Actually, what they're wanting is a crosswalk, an actual marked crosswalk. And so we took a look at what the traffic volumes are, speed, pedestrian crossing at the time. And the port was concerned that the study was done in April and so was not adequately capturing basically the high season volumes. So we did prepare some additional information. The issue, quite frankly, is a mid-block crossing on a rural road is not just a standard thing that you put in. It typically lends people to thinking that they may have a safer crossing environment than they actually do. That area is kind of a bit challenging because of where their parking lot is placed. Across from the boat launch does not necessarily have the best location for crossing visibility. And in general, a crossing would not necessarily even meet warrants, or we would not advise a crosswalk in that location. So we could go out there, collect additional data, but it still would not necessarily meet a crossing recommendation or a crossing standard, if you will. So I think we need to talk a little bit further about it and discuss with commissioners about that a little further about how you would like to proceed, and we'll certainly present information to you.
Well, Loretta, shouldn't we
I'll
get
take
that
that.
information first and then have a meeting amongst us?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What are you thinking, Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. And then we can also bring in the port, their commission also, because I know that this was a topic of discussion. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and has been for some time, commissioners.
right.
But we need all the information to make an educated decision.
Yep.
My recommendation is still that you go out and finish the determination. Commissioner Schutte, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So commissioners, to be clear, you want us to perform a traffic study out here. And then based on the information, bring our recommendations back to the board.
That's what I'm thinking. Commissioner Trask, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think to make an informed decision, I think that I would feel more comfortable having all of that information, just so that we know what we're talking about, when we're talking about it. And also I think that would help their commission understand how we're basing our decisions and why.
Yeah, I think the other thing, commissioners, that I would like to talk with you about or discuss a little bit further is our role in terms of when we are developing these studies or performing these studies versus what is a developer's role. So is the port different? Are they considered a developer, if you will, because they've created this parking lot and they're doing development? And is that part of their mitigation?
What is the cost? What is the cost for doing this? About?
A cost would be, and honestly, at this point, I think it might be advisable to hire somebody to do that outside of ourselves and have an independent analysis.
Any idea what you think that costs?
Probably less than $10,000. But we can nail that down.
And we would be incurring that in the entire cost of that, or is that something that we would be cost sharing with the board?
I think that's what she's asking us.
Yeah, so far the port has not said that they would do that study because we've suggested that on more than one occasion.
So commissioners, can we meet halfway on this one and say we're willing to put up half the cost?
Well, and I think just reading from what one of the commissioners was saying, the port commissioner, he was saying that it's the county's obligation, it's the county's
Right.
duty to do this. And so I don't know that the port's going to come up with half the cost. They are a separate government, and so I want to make sure that we're separate electeds. So I want to make sure that they understand what our role is and what their role is, because their role is to also protect their constituents and to make sure that their parking lot isn't causing a nuisance or causing a hazard.
And I know people ask all the time for crosswalks and stuff, and I hadn't looked at it from this perspective before, but we never offered to pay for a study to see if they want a crosswalk, even back in the days when there were things at the park store and stuff like that. So maybe it is something we need to consider. I have no problem helping out. And we don't have a policy, but maybe we should come up with a policy. But on this one here, I'd still be open to covering half of the cost, unless you tell me that you think, Loretta, that it is our responsibility.
Yeah, no, I view it differently, but that's why I'm happy to have this conversation with you, commissioners, because ultimately we will do as you direct. And I'd like to point out that we do have a similar situation on North Shore Road, where the Port of Allen has their boat launch. So same deal. They've got the boat launch, and then on the opposite side is the parking, and slow, you have a speed zone there, again, poor sight distance.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna get a crosswalk there safely.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly, but same issue.
They did ask us, I remember they asked us to slow down, but there's no safety aspect, because I don't care if you put it at 5 miles an hour, they're gonna fly through there around that corner.
Yep.
Have we considered a pedestrian bridge?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So what are you commissioners thinking right now? Do we want to offer an olive branch out there and offer half? Are you considering the whole thing, or none at all? Commissioner Schutte, we'll start with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, I would be open to some cost sharing. I mean, I'm not opposed to partnering with the port on this. But at the same time, I mean, the volume and the data is going to drive the decision. We want to be consistent where we are putting all kinds of traffic engineering in place across the county, and I mean, how consistently are they above the threshold to actually need the crosswalk? I don't know that, and so I think there's still a lot of unknowns about what the sort of trigger is for this, and so I'm at least curious enough to find out what that volume looks like in a little bit busier part of the year. But it stands to reason that if you really only need it during peak seasons, that's is that something that we want a permanent fix for? So still some questions out there that I think we can resolve if they're open to partnering with us.
Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, I
Half,
would-
all, or none of the above?
Well, I would love to see the results of this study. And then it would be kind of cool too, because then we compare what was before and what is, during what they're calling is their peak season. So I'd love to know what the difference between the traffic volumes are at that time. And then I'm also very visual. And so Loretta, if you could pick me up one of these days and let's take a drive out to both areas.
Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
I can understand from your perspective and also with my own eyes. I think that would be great.
Yeah, perfect.
So are you at half, all, or none at this time?
I would love to go for half. I mean, if they would agree to that, I think either way, it needs to be done.
Okay.
And so if they would agree to half, that would be awesome and great for our bottom line as well as theirs.
Okay, I also will agree with half. I got a question though. I have a feeling I've already know the answer to this. Who did the other one?
We did. Yeah, we performed the work.
So they're asking us to spend money to reevaluate our own work.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go
I was
ahead.
just gonna ask, so I mean, I know this has been discussed in the past, but what's the sort of driver on this right now? Like what brought this back? I mean, was it just that you all did the traffic study in April and were providing those results to them, or was there something else that happened?
I don't think there was any, I think it just came up that, it's back to the high season time and we're still continuing to see traffic and we want to have another study. Yeah.
Okay, so
What's
And-
the number there? Is it 35?
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
I was
Speed
gonna
limit?
I was just asking what the speed limit is through there.
It's posted as warning for 35, and Mike, jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that so thank you for asking what we've done so far. So we did change the signing out there in terms of signing that you're approaching the marina, put and relocated advanced warning signs for the speed reduction through the area. We've also had the feedback speed signs placed. And then during the fair, the festival, we'd had reader boards out there also saying, we've got the festival happening, drive slow, those types of things. I don't know that we've had any special enforcement in terms of from the sheriff's office to help with speed reduction, but those are the items that we agreed to previously and that we followed up on. And Mike, like I said, please, I think you're there, jump on and correct me if I've got things wrong or other things you have to add.
You got it. That's
Thanks, Mike.
Thumbs up. Thanks, Mike.
I mean, we're not against a crosswalk being placed if warranted, but we're really against placing an unsafe crosswalk.
yeah,
Yes.
There's been some conversation about putting a fence along the parking area and force people to the south farther to do a crosswalk. But looking at the terrain, what we're looking at will happen is people will well, I'm not gonna walk all the way down there and then walk back all the way up to the boat launch. I'm just gonna go up to the north entrance and run across the road there. Well, that's even a shorter line of sight distance for any vehicles coming by, and we're just concerned about getting somebody hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
ultimately, we all have the same goal. We want a safe crossing for the folks.
You know, knowing
Absolutely.
that we pay for it, it does bother me for us to expend it to do our own, but I already said that I would be supportive of half if they want to meet half. Commissioners, are you still in the same position you were before learning that? Or have you changed
Well,
your position?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid point. I mean, I think if they don't like our data or they don't like our process, then perhaps they can go do their own evaluation to I don't necessarily know that we need to pay to prove ourselves wrong. And the other thing that I'd be interested in with this, and this is a lot of conversation for this particular issue, I guess, but what is the accident data through there? Have we had any issues with either pedestrians being struck or any other kind of vehicle accidents? Because I mean, sometimes, not saying that we don't need to maybe consider, some enforcement or even potentially engineering fixes for the area, but sometimes the anecdotal evidence feels, more compelling than the actual, quantitative data that we have for that area. So I think there's probably some things to think about there. But I guess long story short, I mean, I think if they're just unhappy with the study that we conducted, then I think they should probably feel free to go fund a study if they think they'll have different results.
Commissioner Trask.
Yeah, gosh, I'm tending to agree with the two of you, which isn't odd, but it is odd. But anyway, I would still like to go out there and take a look at it and make sure that the decision that I'm seeing in my mind agrees with my eyes.
And I'm not, I'll make clear, I'm not against it. Like I said, I still could go with the half. And the reason why is I have a curiosity myself of how accurate things are between April and July for future things, for other studies that we do. Summertime fair could be quite a bit different. I'm just curiosity. So it'd be worth the 5,000, on my opinion, to get that for future comparables.
So only if they agree to pay half. If they
Only
don't
if they
agree
agree to pay half. Yeah, I definitely don't want to pay for the whole thing, especially now.
yeah, I tend to trust our folks. So yeah, if they don't agree to pay for half, then I would hesitate to move forward.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with that, half or not for me. Commissioner Schutte, you okay with half or not for the moment?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and again, for myself, I'm using this as a weather vane for future projects and future things. I've always wanted to know the difference between those. This will at least give me something for my future reference. Is it 10%? Is it 37%? So I'll be curious. But if you don't mind, reach out with them with that idea. We may not even find out because it is what it is. If they're not gonna cover half, I definitely am not interested either.
Yeah, well, first thing we'll figure out scope and budget and make sure that my wild 10,000 is good or not, and then we'll go from there. After that, we'll reach out with the port.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, and Commissioner Trask will get a road trip.
All right, sounds great.
All right,
Okay.
anything else for Loretta? No, do you have anything else for us, Loretta?
No, thank you. I appreciate the discussion,
All
Commissioner.
right,
very
have a
much.
great day.
Yeah, you
All right, next up is support services. Diane, are you on? Who's leading this rodeo?
Yeah, I'm on, but I can't get my video on. Oh, maybe I pushed the right button. There we go.
Hi,
So
Diane.
yes, I'm here. I'm here. Mark's out. We just have the one item with John. I did want to ask the board if we can revise tomorrow's agenda. The award, the contract award for our website revision, it didn't get put on there.
I'm good with that, commissioners.
Yep, I am as well.
Okay.
Thank you. And I think John's on here.
Hi, John, are you on?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep, what you got for us?
Yes, just a quick one. We have a addendum change and renew a contract. The Foothills Park and Friends of Lake Cushman Dog Park has changed their name to Foothills Park and Friends of Foothills Dog Park. So we just went ahead, since the contract was due this year, to go ahead and request that since we're changing the name, to renew it for 2 years. So we'll be submitting that for your review.
Okay.
Good with me.
Sounds good.
All right.
That's all
so
I have.
We have an approval on that one. Do you have anything else for us, Diane?
That's it.
We got something going on with my screen. All right, do you guys have any questions for Diane?
I have a couple things for commissioner discussion, and one
Okay.
of them is Diane.
And I have one also, so. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, okay, yeah. So some good news, a little bit of good news, I guess. So we have a local Olympian from Mason County.
That was mine, yep.
I was kind of glued to the trials over the weekend, and pretty exciting to see CJ Allen from North Mason make our Olympic team. And so I was wondering if the commission would be open to doing something to just sort of recognize that accomplishment. That's pretty impressive all the way around. And so yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
I agree with you. I asked Diane how we do that, if we were to do it, and she said to just bring it up right here and just have a talk, and she'll figure out what to do. Right, Diane?
Sure, yes, I will.
I looked up, and we do have a little more time than I thought. I was told the time was much limited, but we could wait till the next meeting in order to do it. We don't have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That would also give an opportunity if we do something nice like a day or something like that, that we might be able to invite his family, CJ Allen from Allen, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's a pretty cool thing, and I think it's worth celebrating.
Oh, me too.
Huge.
Commissioner Trask, I see the smile on your face. I have a feeling you agree.
I think it's awesome. Anytime that we can bring positive attention to Mason County, the better.
Yeah, no kidding.
So do you mind if I reach out to the parents?
Sure.
And what are you guys thinking? Diane, do you have any idea? Maybe declare a day or something on this young man's behalf?
Yeah, I'll come up with some kind of proclamation. I've already Googled them, so I'll draft something and then circulate it around and see what you think.
You guys all comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to be, traveling to Paris with him or not, but
Yeah,
it's if they can't make it, I certainly understand it. But
me too.
Great to do that, and then maybe have a way to follow up after he brings home the gold to celebrate it again.
Yep.
Absolutely, that'd be cool.
All right. What was your number two?
Yeah, so the other thing I had was just a question that I got, Diane, from a community member asking about park hosts and them having, like having businesses or selling things from if that's prohibited by their contract or not.
Wow.
I'll have to look at the contract. I don't know that it's addressed because that hasn't come up before. Is that happening, or we think it might?
Yeah, we can chat offline, I guess. I don't want to,
Okay.
but I didn't know if there was something explicit in the contract, and if there isn't, then I assume it's probably okay. But I didn't know if we've ever dealt with this in the past.
Oh, I want to throw something out on that because I did not. I've never heard of that in all the years I've been here. But I could assume that if we're doing it on our property, there's a liability that comes with it, and I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the contract. It hasn't come up to my knowledge, so we'll look into that.
And maybe check with Tim
Yes.
as well, just to make sure.
And risk pool.
Yes.
Yes.
In my mind, they're kind of one and the same. They both
Not me, because if
Right.
if one doesn't sign off, the other one's pissed. So no. What do you got, Nicole?
I was just gonna say my initial instinct would have to, like, just reading and remembering the contract, that would definitely be something that would not be covered by the risk pool, or we'd have to have some sort of agreement or something. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a liability there, especially I don't know what they're selling or what they're doing, but I could definitely see a liability.
Yeah, Diane, I'll chat with you when we're done here.
Okay. Thank you.
And then just a real quick calendar note. probably more for Commissioner Netherland. I'm going to be attending the Port of Allen meeting tonight. I didn't know if you were planning to be there. I know you've been in there in the past, but
Yep.
to clear any kind of notice requirement, I will be up there this evening.
Yep, you're on your own on that one. I only go when they're in trouble. No, just kidding. When somebody calls for me. All right. Anything else? Commissioner Trask, you got anything?
Nope, not that I can think of, not before,
Yep.
not that I can't bring up tomorrow.
And mine was just that young man, so I'm good with it. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, we adjourn.
And I'll second.
All right, so moving second, we adjourn here. No objection. See everybody tomorrow. We are adjourned.